The Jimmy Butler era looks to be coming to an end in Miami. At this point, I don't believe there's any way that the Miami Heat re-sign Jimmy Butler for anywhere near what he's making already. He's proven that he can't stay healthy. The team has also proven that they've kind of moved past him. And I think they realize that their ceiling with him is about as limited as it's ever been. I want to dive into this video about what the future holds for the Miami Heat and what the future holds for Jimmy Butler. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. You know, the holidays can be tough for a lot of us, whether it's distance from family, relationship issues, social isolation, or struggling to adapt to the weather of this season. Depression and loneliness can get to us all. This season doesn't have to be something to dread, though. It can also be an opportunity for you to learn coping skills and the steps you need to move into healthier relationships. Contact Bridges and Stones today for a free consultation with a professional coach to get the support that you need. Don't struggle alone. The link is in the description box below. You know, Jimmy Butler, I totally believe that he's a Hall of Fame player. He's still an elite player when he's healthy and he's good. In the playoffs, there's probably few that are more dangerous, maybe like a Kawhi Leonard and a Luka, who elevate their game. SGA, when all the lights are on. Kyrie Irving, like he's in that class when the playoffs hit. And yet, Father Time is undefeated. Father Time has ravaged Jimmy Butler's athleticism, his body, and even though he still has some bounce, a lot of times when you're in contract years, you really kind of rev up to really try to still show what you can do, but it's not necessarily what you're going to be able to continue to do over the course of the tenure of your next contract. It's going to taper off. And I think the Miami Heat see the writing on the wall, similar to D Wade. You played hard for us. You played great. We paid you and compensated, which is why I always believe in players getting all the money that they can, because you don't know when Father Time is going to knock on your door. And for Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, Father Time has not only caught up, but Father Time is sitting in their bedroom, sitting in the living room on the couch with them. And they're thinking about what the future holds. And when I look at the Miami Heat, and this is where I want to start, I think this team has accumulated enough talent to move forward without Jimmy. Bam Adebayo looks like he's ready to be the man on that team. He looks like he's ready to have the Anthony Davis treatment where we run all this through me, no longer through Jimmy. Jimmy's not available. He hasn't been available. And I've been in this position. It's time it's handed over full time. And everybody knows it. Secondly, Tyler Hero has also elevated his game. He is now showing he's a potential all-star this year. And he's ready to step into that role. When you look at other guys on the team like Jaime Jaquez out of UCLA, look at guys like Nikola Jovic, guys like Kel'el Ware, you begin to recognize that this team has a dearth of talent, young talent, that needs an opportunity to step in and get a chance to shine and develop. And right now, Jimmy Butler, from my eyes, from my viewpoint, seems to be holding them back because he's the old guard. He's a guy that everybody knew, everybody wanted to play with, everybody wanted to be like, everybody wanted to enjoy his aura of who he's been. And yet, that's no longer who he is still. He's not the guy who's taking over games. He's not the guy who's hitting game winners. He's not the guy who's even available in the playoffs. And so when you're in that type of a situation, you end up looking at someone like, why am I still deferring to you? At the beginning of the season, there was kind of a laughable discussion that was taking place that was talked about. I believe Jimmy Butler was saying between him and Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was saying, I'm the number one option now. Jimmy was like, no, I'm still the number one option. And Tyler Hero was like, no, bro, I don't think you got the memo. I don't know if you were included, if they didn't BCC you in the email. But that's me now. I'm the initiator. I'm the one that's moving things forward. And I think that what we're seeing, things are kind of quieting down in Miami because I think they're getting ready to move him. I think the Miami Heat are getting ready to move him. Now, there's a lot of teams who can use him. They can use a guy who's physical, tough, can rebound, can really get into it. I wouldn't be shocked if an Indiana Pacers gets into that mix. You know, maybe they combine Andrew Nembhard and Obi Toppin, right? And throw in some veteran contracts to make the money work. And then when they re-sign Jimmy, it's with the understanding, bro, you're not going to get what you got before. You're going to get 20 something. And I think in this case, it would actually behoove the Miami Heat to actually re-sign Jimmy. And if he cooperates, he can get to where he wants to go. And I know he made a list of places he wants to go. I want to go to Dallas. I want to go. Look, bro, at this point, you don't have it like that. You don't have the ability to dictate where you go because that's not who you are anymore. You're not SGA. You're not Luka. You're not these guys who are still playing at this all-star level. When was the last time you made an all-star team? Right? These are the things that have to be considered. And so I think as we see this team move forward, we begin to recognize that not only are they moving forward, they're moving forward without Jimmy. And as they move forward without Jimmy, I think it's going to create an opportunity for someone to shift the landscape of the league. For someone to come in and say, you know what? I think we're going to put our name in the hat to try to compete for a championship. To try to compete to get into a playoff run. Now, more than likely, if I'm honest, what they generally do with a talent like a Jimmy Butler is they ship him to the opposite conference. They don't want to see this guy 5-6 times a year. They definitely rarely ever trade these guys within their division. So it kind of sets up an outlook of where you could potentially see a Jimmy Butler going to. Now, I don't think teams like OKC and Dallas want to disrupt their chemistry and what's going on, but could you not see Jimmy Butler in Minnesota? I could. Can you not see a Jimmy Butler on one of these other teams that are sitting just outside? A Memphis, right? Can you see Jimmy Butler on teams that want to play villain, that want to play, hey, you know what? We're going to spoil somebody's day in a playoff run. Now, it's going to be a fun conversation to see where you think he might go. And I definitely want to hear the conversation in the comment section. But I wanted to kind of mark this moment in memorial. I'm calling it. I might end up wrong. We might end up, not agreeing with Pat Riley and Mickey Erickson and what his value is worth moving forward. And he may not sign an extension. He may get traded without the extension. He may play it out to the end of the season. But I don't think Jimmy Butler is going to be in a Miami Heat uniform next year. So what I want to know from y'all is where do you think he's going to go? Where do you think he's going to end up? Because if he plays to the end of the season, he puts his hands in his destiny in his own hands, which means that he can completely choose where he wants to sign. I don't think Miami wants to lose him for nothing, though. Not for nothing. And so if they don't sign him by an extension by the trade deadline or before the end of the trade deadline, I think they move him for whatever they can get. Whatever they can get. Because I don't think that they're going to re-sign him for anything close to what he's making now for fear of being stuck with that contract, which would be extremely shrewd and smart. Despite everything that he's been for them, these past few years have been rough with Jimmy in Miami. And so as always, I want to know what you all think. Get at me in the comment section if you stay with me through this point in the video and you enjoyed it. Smash the like button for me. Helps with the algorithm. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.